state of the issue is characterized by a significant conflict between the Trump administration's claims and official crime data. The administration asserts that it is deploying FBI agents and other federal officers to Washington, D.C. in response to what it calls rampant and totally out of control crime. This action is part of a broader D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force initiative. However, D.C. police data contradict this narrative, showing that violent crime has decreased significantly compared to the previous year, with a substantial drop in homicides and carjackings. The deployment of FBI agents, who are not typically trained for street patrols, has been met with criticism from D.C. officials and some law enforcement sources. They argue that the move is an overreach of federal power, undermines local governance, and reassigns agents from critical investigative roles. The White House, meanwhile, maintains that the federal presence is necessary to protect citizens and is already making a difference in deterring crime and arresting criminals. The operation, initially planned for 1 week, could be extended. The deployment of federal agents to Washington, D.C. is being driven by the Trump administration's stated focus on addressing crime and what it characterizes as a lack of public safety. The president has publicly described crime in the city as totally out of control and has threatened a federal takeover. This rhetoric has been amplified by an assault on an administration staffer during an attempted carjacking, which served as a catalyst for the deployment. However, the reasons cited by the administration are in stark contrast to official data. D.C. police statistics show that violent crime and homicides have actually decreased significantly in the city. Critics argue that the deployment is not a genuine response to a crime wave, but rather an unusual exercise of federal power to assert control over a jurisdiction with home rule. This action has also been viewed as a politically motivated move to override local D.C. leadership. The consequences of the federal deployment in Washington, D.C. are complex and far-reaching. Legally, the action represents a significant assertion of executive power over a city with limited self-governance. While the president has authority over the federal district, this move challenges the established home rule and raises concerns about potential precedents for federal intervention in local policing. On the ground, a key consequence is the diversion of resources. The FBI agents, who are not typically trained for street-level patrols and traffic stops, are being pulled from their traditional roles. This reallocation of personnel could impact the Bureau's ability to conduct its core investigative functions, such as counterintelligence and public corruption cases. Politically, the deployment has heightened tensions between the federal government and D.C. officials. Mayor has publicly expressed concerns about the overreaction and lack of coordination. It could also have an impact on public safety if it erodes trust between residents and law enforcement, potentially making the city less safe despite the stated intentions. Potential solutions to the conflict over federal law enforcement deployment in D.C. would likely involve a combination of policy adjustments and improved communication. One approach is for the federal government to work in better coordination with D.C. police, providing federal resources in a way that aligns with local law enforcement strategies, rather than imposing its own. This could include specialized federal agencies assisting with complex investigations or providing resources for specific issues like firearms trafficking, rather than engaging in general patrol duties. Another solution could focus on congressional action to clarify the balance of power between the federal government and the D.C. Home Rule government. This could involve legislation that restricts the president's ability to unilaterally deploy federal law enforcement agencies for local policing purposes without a formal request from the D.C. government or a clearly defined state of emergency. Additionally, investing in and fully funding the Metropolitan Police Department would allow D.C. to address its own crime concerns without the need for controversial federal intervention.